Welcome back to Asinine Radio, a weekly podcast where we talk about music, and, well, that's pretty much it. So, let's go!
This is Asinine Radio. This is the weekly music podcast where every week we get into a different band, different artist, and we listen to all of their records so you don't have to. And we rank them from worst to best. We also give our biggest banger from each of them or a stinker if we got them. My name is Tyler, and way out there, hundreds of miles away, is Jeff. While you're listening, go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, give us 5 stars, tell all your friends, share all the posts. And normally we start with the 6 Degrees with Tom DeLonge, actually, but I forgot to do it this week until literally right now. Did you do a 6 Degrees with Tom DeLonge?
No, I forgot to do it too.
No, that's fine. We're both negligent. So, Led Zeppelin, that's what we're doing this week. We listened to all 8 of Led Zeppelin's records. We're not going to be doing Coda because Coda is not a real record.
Nah.
That is a compilation record that came out after Bonham died. So, I'm not going to do that. So, just the real 8. And let's jump into it. What do you got for number 8? What is the worst
Crazy
Led Zeppelin
8s.
record? Go.
Crazy old Maurice.
What do you got?
Beast. Number 8. It should be your number 8. It should be everybody's number 8. In Through the Outdoor. That's their worst.
Yes, it is.
But it's
I'll
not
agree with
bad.
you.
It is not bad. It's actually pretty fucking good. It's pretty innovative. It's pretty risky. It starts off pretty solid. In the evening, that's a solid rock song. Has some cool like effects that Page used, and it's a pretty rad prog song for them. But then we kind of get into like Southbound Suarez, and it's just dumb, goofy jump blues, like pathetic shit, and it's just that's not good at all.
Yeah.
But like overall, I think like they're coming off some crazy touring, right? Just like world tours over and over, year after year, sometimes twice a year, and then Page and Bonham are completely lost to drugs and alcohol. So it's amazing they even threw this together. So this is essentially kind of just like a Plant Jones record. That's really what's going on here. But like the whole climate of music is changing itself. And for them to throw this out is pretty cool because there's a lot of kind of like quirky things they're doing here. The 2 biggest songs, right? Fool in the Rain, All of My Love, Fool in the Rain. Dude, this is a dope song. It's an amazing melody. It is very different from anything they've ever done in their entire career. Bonham is like really on the cusp of becoming an even better, more well-versed drummer. His performance here is amazing. And to think what he would have done throughout the 80s, what he would have done, like, I don't know, out of the box, is rad. I think it's amazing. The solo here is great. And, I don't know, it's cool. Like, they're diversifying their sound. And then
So that's
All of
your
My
banger.
Love. No, All of My Love is my banger.
Oh, okay.
All of My Love.
God, that is such a good song.
I do think this is
Such a
weaker
good
than
song.
Fool in the Rain. I do. But nostalgia for me hits hard as fuck with this one. And I don't know if you remember.
I get it.
I don't know if you were there. I don't know anything about it. But I remember the first time I ever went to Taboo, the strip club, Southern California. This song was playing as I walked in. As I walked in, this song was playing.
I don't think I was there.
It was probably some iteration of the Boys, right? There's probably 2 or 3 of the core group at the time. But yeah, this song was playing in as I walked in, and the next song was Fool in the Rain. And then
Seriously.
after that 2 sets, they played 2 Limp Bizkit songs, and I was like, damn, this is pretty fucking dope, actually.
Taboo. This titty bar is pretty cool, man.
And then I don't think we ever went back, or I ever went back. I was like, it's also really expensive here. I don't want to do this anymore.
No, it actually was a strip club because they don't serve alcohol. So
Yeah.
it was a strip club. Yeah. It wasn't a titty bar.
Full on, baby. But yeah, All of My Love was playing as I walked through those doors. And I was like, oh, this is cool. Fucking 18-year-old me, just super excited.
I was not there for that. I've been to Taboo once, and it was like when I was 22, I think. Something like that.
I'll take Angels any day of the week.
Oh, yeah, Angels was. Yeah. I haven't been to Angels in over 10 years now. But yeah, that was the place to go. Way better. Because they served alcohol. It was a titty bar.
Yeah. Why else would you go? That's silly. Come on.
Yeah. God, we used to have... Dude, Tammy, when Tammy would go with us, God, she would go wild. She'd be fucking making it rain on the girls and shit.
I remember.
Tammy's
I think
wild,
one of
man.
the last times we went, like I remember I was barfing in the taxi on the way home. Like they had to pull over, and I was like barfing out of the taxi because they sold pitchers. Remember, like $6.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, it was cheap. It was dirt
Oh my
cheap.
God! And then I remember
$6
last time we were
pitchers.
there, Brian So was there, and he was throwing change. Remember, he was throwing change.
Right, he threw change. That's so bad, dude. He's such
He was
a
throwing
dummy.
change on the stage. At fucking
he's
Angels,
so
dude, in like the
dumb.
most ghetto of areas in like the fucking Anaheim area.
Yeah, it's Anaheim. Yeah, it's Anaheim. Yeah, Anaheim, Placentia. Yeah,
Just
Fuck,
straight like
man.
fucking gang territory.
yeah, it's pretty bad, but it
Throwing
was
nickels
fun.
on the stage.
All right, In Through the Outdoor. That is also my number 8, like I said. But my banger's got to be Full in the Rain. I do love all of my love. That song is. I mean, both of these songs are beyond bangers. They really, truly are. And you know, I agree with you with Bonham. I feel like had he not died, he could have done some really cool, incredible things because he was experimenting a lot. They were doing a lot of like calypso shit on here, tango stuff. They were doing just straight up like hardcore bluegrass, like in Hot Dog. Like that shit is, I mean, they were doing that shit early on, but like this is like hillbilly shit they were doing with Hot Dog. And I don't know, I feel like also the shuffle that Bonham plays in Fool in the Rain, man, dude, that's just perfect. It's the perfect amount of groove and shuffle, and man, I do really love that song. That's my biggest banger off of this one. But there's so much experimentation too. I mean, there's so much synth on this record that's the one thing. Like, had Bonham not died and they made records through the 80s, it would have been filled with synth, like through and through, so much fucking synth with the way everything exploded in the 80s. And that probably would have, you know, kind of soiled the whole Zeppelin reputation had they put out records
So funny.
through the 80s. I mean, you hear it a lot of synth on this record, way more than I remember. Because this is honestly a record I rarely go back to. I had it on vinyl. I listened to it once when I had it on vinyl when I got it, but I purged it because it's like, I'm never going to go back to it. Never going to go back to it.
You don't need to.
It's still great. I mean, this is even bottom tier Zeppelin is 2.25 out of 3. 2.25 out of 3 for me. And the way the 3-point rating system works is 3 is a perfect album, 2 is a good album you're going to continue to listen to, 1 is a bad album but give it a shot, and 0 is the worst thing you've ever heard. So even then, 2.25, this is for bottom tier. That's incredible. So
I would probably say 2.25 also. Like, I've had this a couple times on the vinyls, and I enjoy my listen through and through. If somebody threw it on, I wouldn't be mad.
yeah,
I don't go back to it very often, but it's still pretty fucking good.
it's incredible. And some things I didn't know about this one too, that like Robert Plant's son died. He was only 4 or 5 years old. He died right before this record came out. So there was like a lot of heartbreak. And then like you mentioned, you know, Jimmy Page was fucking hardcore heroin addict at this time. And Bonham was just so fucked up on booze, drinking all the time, which, you know, reading more about like his death too and how much he actually drank
was
that
in his
day.
system. Yeah.
Dude, he got 4 so the morning he died, they went to breakfast before rehearsal. He drank 4 4 quadruple screwdrivers, 16 shots of alcohol, and of vodka, and just continued to drink all fucking day, all night. And that was his normal day. That was
He had
normal.
40 shots of vodka in him when he died.
Yeah. Within probably a 12 hour span. That's crazy.
That's insane.
It's nuts, but I'm sure we'll talk about more about Bonham's death later. But yeah, In Through the Outdoor, my number 8. What do you got for number 7? Go.
Number 7, Physical Graffiti. The only reason why this is here under Presence is because of Achilles' Last Stand. But otherwise, as an album as a whole, this is better than Presence. But come on, Achilles' Last Stand's good.
That's incredible.
But this is it's kind of funny because there's 2 words you can use to describe like Led Zeppelin and this record, and ambitious and cocky. Like, you can interchange those pretty much throughout their entire career.
Yeah.
Because they do both of them a lot, and they do them both very well. And instead of trimming down like songs on this one, they just put out a double album, and it is like chock full of absolute fucking stupid bangers. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
But I get tired, dude. It's a double album.
Yeah, it's too
And so a lot
long.
of these songs are just like, they're not as strong or revolutionary as their first 5. Like songs like Trample Underfoot, dude, that is a fucking certified banger. That song is amazing.
Yeah. Top 3.
But then you get like Stu's Boogie, dude. Like, what the fuck? Get out of here. Throw that away. Like, you couldn't cut that, really? Fuck out of here.
Yeah,
Like, I know some people will be like, oh, but that one's actually really cool too. Like, no, dude, just cut it. cut it.
Once again,
Physical Graffiti, meh.
Once again, they've never put out a bad song or a bad record. It's just it's kind of like Primus last week. You got to put it somewhere. But yeah, I don't know. The Physical Graffiti is also my number 7. What is your banger from this one? From Physical?
Trampled Underfoot.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, the one that Franz Ferdinand completely lifted and ripped off, and nobody said.
Well, hey, you don't know.
Nobody said a thing about that, and that always irritated me since that stupid Franz Ferdinand song came out. It's a straight lift. Are
you mad that they did it, or are you mad that nobody complained about it?
It's more that nobody said anything about it because
Gotcha.
it's so blatantly obvious. It's right there. Like, it's the main riff in both songs. It's not just like a one part in like a bridge or a chorus. It's it's the riff that makes the whole song. It's stupid. But yeah. But anyway, Physical Graffiti, yeah. 7th record from 1975. That's my number 7. It's just, yeah, I agree with you. It doesn't need to be a double album. What? Can you hear Tammy laughing?
I just heard her laugh at something.
Yeah, she's laughing. Yeah. Once again, this is why I don't podcast when Tammy's home, because she
So
makes it
good.
a point for some reason to be extra loud when she's never loud. But anyway, so yeah, if you hear random noises or Tammy laughing, yeah,
That's just people having fun and enjoying their life, and Tyler's mad about
I'm
it.
mad. Just start vacuuming soon, Jesus. So yeah, Physical Graffiti. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, so double album is crazy. It's silly boy talk. I mean, they recorded too many songs in this session to make they made too many songs to fit on one record. So they're like, let's just throw some old demos and songs that didn't make the cut on earlier records to fill out a double album.
Yeah.
So it was very kind of half-assed in that, and that's frustrating. I mean, but there are bangers on here. It is a great album. It really is a great album. I purged this one too. I never go back to it. Never do.
This is too long. It's too much commitment.
Is. Yeah. But Trampled Underfoot, man, that is no, it's not a top 3. It's a top 5. Top 5 Zeppelin song for me.
Dude, Trampled Underfoot is on the same side as Houses of the Holy and Kashmir. So like side 2 of the record.
Incredible.
Like, dude, like we're talking, what is that? Fucking like 15 minutes of almost like 20 minutes of just beyond perfection.
And Houses of Holy song, that song is often forgotten about. But it's an incredible song.
That's why it's stupid too, because it was recorded in like early 70s and it wasn't released until this. It's like, just put on fucking Houses in the Holy, you dumb.
You dumb?
Well,
also, okay, so also in the context of it all, they put out their first record in 1969. This came out in 1979. So they put out 8 records in 10 years. Most of them they put out in the first 4 years of the band's career. So I don't know. It's weird to think about that. Bands like this or CCR, Deep Purple or Sabbath, they put all these records out within 7 to 10 years. It's nuts.
I mean, CCR is something else. They're on a different level. They put out fucking 3 records in like a year and a half. Like, that's just silly boy talk. But they weren't really like as innovative or explosive as like Zeppelin. Zeppelin put out 1, and then 300 days later they put out 2. And it's like, dude, that wasn't even a year until 2 of the most iconic like rock albums that have ever existed came out. So like within a calendar year, right? We had 2 of the greatest rock albums of all time.
Yeah, but mind you, most of one is cover. Like half the album are covers or interpretations, whatever of existing songs. So whatever. Anyway, yeah. So what's your number 6? Go.
Number 6, Presence. Presence is here because of everything that happens after Achilles' Last Stand. Achilles' Last Stand is a top 3 Zeppelin song.
That's so good.
That's a fact. I don't make the rules. I just enforce them. That is a fact. But the problem here is like, dude, after that, it falls it falls so fast.
No, it doesn't.
It falls so fast.
It does not.
It's not bad, but it never recovers. If Achilles' Last Stand wasn't on Presence would be the worst album. That's a fact also. Again, I don't make the rules. I just enforce them. There's still some cool stuff here, though. Nobody's Fault But Mine. That's probably the second best song on this album. Great, like heavy riffing, a lot of jamming. Dude, Bottom has some really, really rad bass or drum lines, but even still, it's not Achilles' Last Stand.
Yeah,
that's your problem. That's your problem when you have a 10-minute fucking magnum opus of a song as your opener.
Great opener. Fucking incredible opener. All right. So my number 6 is, it's going to upset some people, but
oh God,
that's okay. It's Zeppelin 3. Zeppelin 3 is my number 6. This one, I haven't listened to this one in a while, but I fucking loved this record. I swear to you, every time I listen to this record, I'm blown away. It is truly an incredible record. It's obviously very, very different from what they were doing on 1 and 2, and even what came on 4 and Houses of the Holy. But it's truly a standout record, and there's some really cool folk things going on here. It's a very subdued record for the most part. I really do. I think this is an incredible record, but it's got to go somewhere. I don't know. I just think this is an incredible record. I don't even know if I have a banger. I think all the songs are just equally as good as the other. It's such a cool record, and it's such a pleasant. I just have such a good time listening to it. It's so pleasant for me.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Zeppelin 3 is my number 6. What do you got for number
that is
5?
That's incorrect. But number 5 should actually be Zeppelin 3. This is where it should be. And that's fine. I like this one for what it was, a doomed record. There was no way this would have been great because they're getting so much hype. They're getting so much traction. They're touring so much. Everybody's foaming at the mouth waiting for the next hard rock album from Zeppelin.
And they put this out.
They couldn't do it. And their live shows are blowing up, so they really tried to make this one different. And I think this is just like a placeholder for Zeppelin 4. Like, there's a lot of acoustic stuff on here, which people are like, oh, they're fucking acoustic now. Like, dude, they've always been acoustic. What the fuck are you talking about?
Got a lot of acoustic.
Like, get out of here. Jimmy Page loves playing the acoustic guitar. He's done it his entire fucking career. And again, he's like 26 right here, too. So
I know. It's so stupid.
But really, like, again, I think this is just a sort of like a proving ground for their 4th record. They took a lot of time with this one, and some of these songs are pretty good. And I think their best openers here. Immigrant Song is your best opener.
Yeah,
like the intro to Immigrant Song, that is Zeppelin, dude. Like,
when you can hear the mics turn on, like at the beginning, the first like second, you can hear all the mics turn on.
Wild,
and then the drums
absolutely
come
wild.
in. Oh, that to me, that's God. What a cool way to open the whole fucking album. Just the mics turning on.
Much in the same way, I think
Fucking
like Goliath is like the Mars Volta in a nutshell. Like, hey, what one song should I listen to by the Mars Volta to get me into them? Listen to Goliath. Like, Immigrant Song would be the one I would tell people to listen to. Hey, what should I listen to when I get into Zeppelin? Listen to Immigrant Song. That's it. Then you'll get it. That's how good it is.
Yeah, I agree with you. I totally agree.
But yeah, dude, Zeppelin 3, it's amazing. I love Jimmy Page on the acoustic guitar. I fucking love him. He is so goddamn good at everything that he does. It's unreal. And I love that they double down on it. But I really do think like Zeppelin 3 was just them trying to write better songs in anticipation for Zeppelin 4.
But, I mean, and they really did write. I mean, the songs here are incredible. They're just different. That's the thing. They're just like I would almost equate it to like "Adore" by the Smashing Pumpkins. It's really, really great, but it's so wildly different from what the Pumpkins were doing prior, and then what they did with Machina after. I mean, obviously, the Zeppelin records are for the most part better than the Pumpkin stuff, but I mean, it's the same idea. It's just so wildly different, and it's sometimes it's hard to throw it in a ranking when you're ranking all their records because it's so off the wall for the band.
I think like Zeppelin 3 and then In Through the Outdoor are truly their most kind of like out there records.
Yeah, experimental for sure. For sure.
Even Bonham had a song here. Bonham wrote like either the main riff or most of the song to Out on the Tiles. Like that was Bonham's song. What the fuck is going on here, dude?
It's rad. Super rad. So
what?
My number 5 is Presence. 6th album from 1976, Achilles' Last Stand. Yeah. It's hands down top, absolutely top tier Zeppelin song right here. This one, I've always had this one on vinyl. I will still keep it on vinyl. I still think this is a great record. This is like them kind of throwing it back a little bit to the early Zeppelin, but there were issues when they were recording it. You know, Robert Plant had been in a car accident, so he was recovering, but then he couldn't recover in England because he was a tax exile from the country. So they ended up recording it in different places, and then the whole thing only took like 2 weeks to record and mix the entire thing. So this is very kind of like, I don't want to say DIY, but it was extremely rushed. And considering what they got, like the performances and the songs, man, dude, it's a solid fucking record. It really is a solid record. And it's a great throwback to early Zeppelin, which was only 4 or 5 years prior to this. It's not even like it's 30, 40 years. You know what I mean? Like Sabbath 13, which came out 35 years after the last Ozzy record. This is only 4 years after that, 5 years.
That's wild.
It's stupid. It's just stupid to think about, but it's a great rock and roll. This is just a solid rock and roll record. And that's why it's above 3. I think because they obviously make better rock and roll records. So that's really why it's above 3. I really dig this one. And Achilles' Last Stand, best song. So what do you got for number 4?
Number 4, Zeppelin. Led Zeppelin's Led Zeppelin. Their first record, 1969. Now we're getting into what I would consider the perfect territory here. I do think this album maybe is not quite perfect, but we're fucking close. Like this is close. This is an album that people were expecting, like, to be great, right? Everybody thought this was going to be great, given the members, given their report card, given who they were.
Yeah.
So something that had to blow people away, and this delivered. Dude, this is hungry, savage Zeppelin coming out hot. Yeah, they ripped off most of it, but it's raw power and energy. But it's lacking a little bit in the ambition, and that's why I ranked it 4, because what they will become legends for is their ambition, what they will do with, like, said genre or the direction of music, of rock and roll, of metal, of psychedelic, of anything that they fucking want to do.
Yeah.
But dude, it's wild. Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You. This is this is a certified banger through and through. This shit is so heavy. It's so aggressive. This is like some precursor to heavy metal shit. Like I could see people like starting their bands, right? Like Sabbath is starting their band and they're practicing for the first time. Yeah, how do I do this? And then this comes on, like, holy shit. Let's do that sound right there. Let's do that one. Let's make a band. Let's make an entire thing just on that. Let's do it. And it's I don't know, man. It's funny that people would go on to complain about how Zeppelin became too soft sometimes, and like
one is.
But again,
soft.
Right out the gate though, like Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You is fucking their softest and hardest song.
Yeah, I agree with you. And then so like Zeppelin 1 is also my number 4, and people complaining, that they ripped off these bands or whatever, but it's like, dude, so the Yardbirds finished. They had to finish out a contract. So Jimmy Page got 3 other guys to join the band, and then they toured. They finished their touring obligation because fucking what's his name, Jeff Beck, like, bitched out, and the other guys bitched out about on
everybody bitched out. Everybody
bitched out except Jimmy Page. So to fulfill the obligation, he formed a brand new band with these 3 guys, filled that, did all that touring in Sweden and shit, and then. They weren't allowed to use the Yardbirds name anymore, so they changed the name to Led Zeppelin. And all within like 3 or 4 months, this happened. And they're like, well, okay, so we're going to go on tour as Led Zeppelin, but we have no albums. So let's record something really quick just so we have something to sell to people at our show. So, of course, like this whole record is just a live set of their live set at that time when they'd only been a band for a few months. So people like that bitch about this for having too many covers. Dude, they couldn't play Yardbird songs. I'm sure they couldn't because, that's essentially Jeff Beck's band, or was. And it's just, people getting all pissed about it or getting upset about it is just stupid. They were a brand new fucking band. And the way that they interpreted those songs too, those original songs, still sounds so different from the originals. So who gives a fuck?
Like in 2024, I would be mad if somebody did this and didn't like give credit where credit was due. But this is 1969.
Yeah,
like people just didn't fucking do that. It was a part of life.
But everybody did cover
blues standards.
Yeah,
it's like it was just a part of life. There was
the fucking Rolling Stones. Cared. The first 4 Rolling Stones records were
look
all
at Howlin'
covers.
Wolf. Howlin' Wolf's fucking his biggest songs are just old blues standards.
Exactly,
like, this is what people did.
Exactly.
But it's just because Zeppelin got big and then never like acknowledged it. And then kind of tried to hide it a little bit and had to get sued to get paid royalties. That's why people hate him for it.
Yeah, that's true too. But then also like their versions of the songs, like I said, are pretty different. Yeah, they're covers, but they're still pretty different. They're not like if you listen to like Howlin' Wolf is a good example. If you listen to his songs, compared to some of they sound very, very similar.
We'll talk about it in the Zeppelin 2 episode, but goddamn, they are the same fucking song. Like you would never convince a jury of your peers that those are not the same fucking song.
Net. Also, Zeppelin 1, dude, they recorded and mixed this in 36 hours. Over a 9-day span, but in 36 hours. And to get this performance, this tight and, and everything like that, come on. That's just insane. Insane. And
it's funny too because
yeah,
the bass player for the Yardbirds, I forgot what his name was. Who cares? Because he's a little butthole. But after the Yardbirds broke up, and they had, I think it was Scandinavia, they had to go tour or some shit like that.
yeah.
But he was on board for a while, and they're called the New Yardbirds. And then eventually he left, and then still kind of left Page to pick up the pieces. And so Page continued it, got a new band together, and then the guy fucking sent him a cease and desist. And you can't use the Yardbirds name anymore. That's our name. That's our name. It's like, you fucking kidding me, bro? Like, you can't even fulfill your obligations.
To play like
Fuck off.
I think that Scandinavian tour was only like 5 shows.
It wasn't even live. It was like 2 weeks.
I know.
So yeah. Good luck fucking falling into obscurity, fucking bass player who probably is a famous bass player. I just can't remember his name.
I can't remember his name either. But also too, like what's cool to think too, the first time Led Zeppelin played a show together was at some like concert, like small little like essentially like a YMCA, I think it was, but in Sweden. Like who knows how many people they actually played for, but. I don't know. Anyway,
love it.
Anyway, what do you got for number 3?
Number 3, Houses of the Holy. Houses of the Holies. Holy molies.
Okay.
Their 5th record. Now we're in the perfect territory. This is perfect through and through. Easy.
Spoilers.
No questions. And this is also like a very ambitious output for them. I think this one's biggest downfall was just it followed 4. Like that's the only knock I could really give this. I have nothing to complain about whatsoever.
Yeah.
Except it's just not 4. But like they push their own boundaries pretty far here, dude. Keyboard heavy tracks like No Quarter, the reggae, Jamaica, whatever the fuck they're trying to say, Jamaica, and then they perfected their acoustic software stuff with like my personal favorite Zeppelin song of all time, Over the Hills. Like it's amazing. This is a fantastic album with absolutely no filler. Even like the worst song on this album doesn't even have one filler part to the song. This is perfect through and through. Everything about this is so iconic. It's so wild, and they're still so young. What is going on here? They're not even 30. Fuck you.
Crazy. It's crazy.
Fuck off.
I think what Jimmy Page might have been 28, and he was the oldest guy in the band.
Yeah, so like 1969, he was 25. So yeah, like 28, 29 years old. Like not even 30.
Because I think Plant was 19 when they did the first record.
Fuck out of here.
Yeah, crazy shit, man.
It's just crazy to think like, oh yeah, Jimmy Page was a session musician for years prior to this. Like what, when he was like 18? Yeah. Oh God. What the fuck? What a life.
I know. It's fucking nuts. And he's not even, I guess we'll get into it in the main episode. I'm going to criticize Jimmy Page a little bit.
As he should be, that fucking weirdo, dude. All these fucking weirdos, dude. Like, dating, obviously probably banging like fucking underage girls. Like nobody talks about that shit.
I'm not just talking about that. I'm talking about like his actual playing. Like he's fucking sloppy as fuck.
Oh yeah,
so sloppy. And to be a studio guy, like, man, dude, that's wild. But we'll get into that later. So your number 3 is Houses of the Holy.
Yeah.
And Over the Hills and Far Away is your banger. So that's cool. My number 3 is Zeppelin 4, their 4th record from 1971. Mind you, their first record came out in 1969. So only 2 years later, this fucking record came out. Fucking dumb. So yeah, this one, I mean, this, when anybody thinks of Led Zeppelin, they think of this record. I mean, this has, I think arguably their biggest bangers. Stairway to Heaven's on this fucking record.
Yeah, for sure.
Black Dog is on this record. Right? Yeah. Black Dog's on this one.
Rock and Roll, Black Dog, fucking everything is on this record.
This is Led Zeppelin to a T. This is their, I think objectively, this is their magnum opus. This really is. But it's not my favorite. I mean, Stairway's a great song. It's a fucking amazing song, but it's fucking long as hell. You know, even Rock and Roll, like that gets it's a great song, but man, it's over fucking played. It's so overplayed. And that's really why this is as low as it is. I can't even criticize this record. I can't. It's too good. It's way too good.
Is this perfect for you? Like, would you give this a 3 out of 3?
Fuck yeah, this is perfect.
Right.
You're just stupid if you don't think it's perfect.
Yeah.
So I also just wanted to mention that on the back of the cover, on the back of the record, there's a picture of the Salisbury Tower in Birmingham, England. Just throwing that out there for a fun little fact for our boy Skip, who lives in Birmingham. So
he probably had no idea that
idea.
existed. He did not know that fact. I know that for a fact.
He's never even seen the Salisbury Tower. Never even heard of it. He lives in it. He's never even heard of it. So yeah, that's cyberbullying, dude.
Yep.
I don't know. I really have nothing bad to say. I have nothing really to say about 4. I mean, it's incredible. So
okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I think everybody knows that. So what do you got for number 2? Go.
2 is 4. 2 is 4, dude.
2 is 4.
I mean, like, dude, come on, dude. Like, this is, get the fuck out of here. This album is perfect. It's better than that. This album is so perfect. It's become a stereotype for what like a great rock album should be. Like that's how fucking dumb this is. It's so big and powerful that it's become like exhaustive to even think about half of these songs. Mm-hmm. And yeah, like Stairway, you think like, oh my God, dude, overplayed. It's so long. Rock and roll. God, I hear that shit when I go out to fucking Target now. Like everybody plays like those songs over and over. But then you sit down and you throw this one on and you kind of like calm down a little bit, dude. And you listen to it through and through. And at no point on this entire record do you think this is not a perfect record.
I know.
By leaps and bounds. Everything about this is perfect. Side A, dude, Black Dog, Rock and Roll, Battle of Evermore, and then Stairway. Like, you're done. You're fucking done.
It's crazy.
And then but then side 2, we get into kind of like a little more nuance. Misty Mountain, Four Sticks, California, and Levee Breaks. Like, fucking then ends with Levee Breaks. That's 7-minute absolute banger.
God, Misty Mountain Hop. That's one I always forget about until it comes on. That's such a great fucking song.
Dude, like When Levee Breaks will live on forever because like hip hoppers are still like sampling that drum beat. And it's just, it is absolutely insane. And then in rock and roll, dude, like Bonham just goes nuts in rock and roll. He's opener, so exciting.
Just the way that it starts with that big drum beat, those open hi-hats. And that is
rock and roll drumming to a T. You don't get better rock and roll drumming than that. Like absolutely. Zeppelin 4 is to say it's a perfect record is like underselling what it actually is. It is something that should be shot into space. Straight up.
Yeah, it certainly is something. It's
too good.
So my number 2 is Zeppelin 2. So your number 1 is Zeppelin 2.
That's wrong.
And my number 1 is Houses of the Holy from 1973. Going along with what you said, they were experimenting a little bit more, but they perfected a lot of what they had already been doing, even though this band is only 5 years old at this point and 5 records deep. They nail it with the acoustic stuff, the heavier stuff, just the more complex songwriting, which I don't even want to say it's complex on this record. It's more. This record is just more mature than everything that they were doing before. Like obviously you can't go up against like the heavy hitters of 4 in rock and roll and Stairway, but they change it up enough to still have something so different and just so effective. And I don't know, I can't even really explain it. There's just something about this record that is just so incredible. I think that they had just matured to the right point, and I don't know, man. They weren't trying to copy themselves. They weren't trying to prove it. It's not like, and it's also they weren't trying to like outdo themselves on 4. They were just trying to write a good record and not try to do 4 again. This is just real maturity from this band 5 years in. I'm going to keep bringing that up. I'm going to keep bringing that up because it's
so obnoxious.
It is so annoying. So annoying. But Over the Hills and Far Away, yeah, this is a top 3. This is my second favorite. This is my second favorite Zeppelin song, Over the Hills.
Damn, girl.
Yeah, I'm just that acoustic intro. Well, really, the acoustic guitar plays with the whole song, but just the way that Page plays that acoustic guitar, that main riff in the beginning is, God, it's beautiful. It's just beautiful. Not even that hard of an intro to play in comparison to some of the other stuff that he does.
It's a hard intro to play clean.
Okay. Yes, exactly. Yeah, I just love it. And when just also the way they layered the electric guitar with the acoustic guitar on that one as well. Just incredible song, incredible album. Love Houses of the Holy.
Love that art too. Weird, but I love the art.
Yeah. Also, when it comes to the artwork, So originally they had hired Storm Thurgeson to do the artwork, and he came up with something where it was like a picture of like a tennis court with a tennis racket on it, but the band took offense to it because they thought, or they thought that he was like criticizing the band, calling them a racket. That's why there was a tennis racket on it.
Turn on that racket.
So they fired Storm, and they had Hypnosis, the team of artists that did, Pink Floyd records and a bunch of other shit. So yeah, we have this record, Selmart. So anyway, yeah, we got Zeppelin 2. Let's get into it. We're done with this one. We'll get into Zeppelin 2 on the main episodes. Thank you all for listening. And that's it. That's all.